If you really want to get a handle on the 20th century, I think you have to look at the books that were considered, well, dangerous. The ones banned or burned or just buried.
Definitely. And today we're diving into one that wasn't just literature, it was a geopolitical event. Boris Pasternak's Dr. Zhivago.
An incredible story, right?
Yeah.
Both for the people in it and, well, for the manuscript itself.
Absolutely. I mean, this came after Pasternak had been basically silenced for 25 years, and then the moment it's announced in Russia, 1954, boom, withdrawn.
Just like that. So it was literally smuggled out. That tells you so much, doesn't it? Right away. About the pressure, the tension Pasternak was tapping into.
It really does. It pops up first in Italian, of all places, and then whoosh, it just explodes globally. Arabic, French, German, Spanish, you name it.
And this massive wave carries Pasternak straight to the Nobel Prize in Literature, October 58, like a month after it hits the U.S.
Yeah, talk about a whirlwind. Part scandal, part massive triumph.
So our goal today, looking at these sources, is to get past just the headlines, the Nobel, the Cold War drama. We want to dig into that core conflict,
Yeah.
the big one.
The clash. Revolutionary force, this massive ideology crushing down on the individual spirit, the single human life.
Exactly. And Pasternak puts that right into the lives, the trauma of his main characters. Yuri Zhivago, the doctor poet.
Lara, Larisa Fedorovna Gishar, and Pavel Pavlovich Antipov Pasha. Their lives are completely tangled up in this from the start.
Okay, let's start there, in that sort of personal vortex. Lara's story, specifically her connection to Viktor Komarovsky. Wow, that's dark.
It really is. And Komarovsky, he's not just some random figure. He was the lawyer for Yuri's father.
Right, and the sources describe him as Madame Gishar's lover and advisor. That sets up such a disturbing dynamic for young Lara.
It totally frames her life, this constant search for escape, for refuge, and her internal thoughts, they show it's not just feel of him, it's deeper.
It's humiliation, right, of feeling subjugated, constantly looking out at this other life, this wealthy world like on Coachmaker's Row, that feels like it should be hers but is just out of reach.
Precisely. Always seeing what she's missing, what's been denied.
The Pasternak uses these amazing little details too, like those stone Easter eggs.
Yeah.
Olia dimming of the seamstress.
Oh, yeah. Planning to use them against Komarovsky's bulldog, Jack.
It's such a vivid image, isn't it? That hidden domestic rage against the power controlling the household. It's brilliant.
It contrasts so sharply with Yuri Zhivago's path, his whole spiritual quest. He's trying to find meaning outside all this chaos.
Which leads us to his uncle Nikolaevich. He seems to be the philosophical anchor here.
Very much so. He's the voice challenging all the rigid thinking, the dogma.
He says something striking, that gregariousness is always the refuge of mediocrities, whether they follow Soloviev, Kant, or Marx. He lumps them all together.
He does. He's suspicious of any system that demands conformity. He pushes for the individual's own search for truth.
And his core idea is loyalty to immortality. That sounds kind of abstract. How does that connect to Yuri's life? Is it just theory?
Well, he equates immortality with life itself, with staying true to the spirit of renewal, what he calls being true to Christ. But he grounds it. He says, man does not die in a ditch like a dog, but at home in history.
Well, the work toward the conquest of death is in full swing. He dies sharing in this work.
Ah, okay.
So the work is the key.
Exactly. That becomes Yuri's foundation, and you see it crystallize when he's by his mother-in-law, Anna Ivanovna's bedside, as she's dying.
Right, that's his big aha moment, isn't it?
Yeah.
About consciousness, the soul.
Totally. He realizes your identity, your immortality isn't just in you. It's in your external active manifestation, your work, your family, your impact on others.
That's the you that enters the future. It's about creation, connection.
Yes. That's what transcends the politics, the death.
What a contrast, though. Zhivago finding meaning in this quiet, creative, individual continuity, while outside, the revolution, embodied by people like Pasha Antipov, is demanding the exact opposite, total loyalty to the group.
Absolutely. And that takes us right into the revolutionary spirit. Pasha's background is soaked in it, son of a railway worker, exiled, living with the Tiverzins, a revolutionary family.
So for him, it's not abstract theory. It's his life, his family history.
Right. And the violence is there early on, that 1905 demonstration in Moscow. Pasha disappears in the chaos.
And Marfa Tiverzina gets hit by a Dragun's nagaika, that whip. You see how the political reality physically scars them right from the beginning?
And Yuri, the poet, his reaction isn't violence. It's this deep, almost aesthetic contempt for the language fueling it all.
So is Pasternak suggesting there was no real idealism there? Or just that Yuri couldn't stomach the rhetoric? Did he offer an alternative?
Well, Yuri doesn't seem to deny the need for change, necessarily, but he hates the words. All that talk of the dawn of the future, building a new world, he finds it pompous, second-rate. Just slogans replacing actual life.
It's interesting how he pushes back by championing Pushkin,
Mhm.
saying that true greatness lies in transforming the familiar, honoring honest labor, duty, everyday life.
Yes. It's like a quiet manifesto. Art cherishes the ordinary life the revolution wants to bulldoze.
And that rejection, that bulldozing, leads to Yuri's deep disillusionment later on.
He sees the leaders as masters of chaos, only good at change and turmoil. They treat these transitional periods as the goal itself, not a means to something better.
It's a childish harlequinade, he calls it.
Yes.
Like they don't know how to actually build, only tear down.
Exactly. And then the reality hits him hard. In Yuriatin, reading those decrees posted everywhere.
Oh yeah, the language shifts completely. Requisitioning, mass searches, terror, shooting of speculators, all control, no inspiration.
And it's the sheer monotony of it that gets to him, this endless repetition of control and violence. He starts wondering, was he trapped, enslaved by one moment where he felt a flicker of hope for the revolution?
That crushing weight, that exhaustion, it sets the scene perfectly for the next phase.
Yeah.
The war, identity shifting, like Pasha Antipov.
Right. The young idealist vanishes.
Ouch.
Who emerges? Strelnikov, the shooter. A fanatical, ruthless commander, not even officially party, but his zeal comes naturally from his life, his perceived injustices.
And he's known for brutal actions,
Mhm.
suppressing peasant uprisings, dealing with mutinies. He translates that zeal directly into terror.
Meanwhile, Lara, she's desperate too. Takes her daughter, Katenka, to Moscow, becomes a nurse trying to find Pasha, heading straight into the war zone.
And the book doesn't shy away from the horror of that war, the psychological toll, that story about Pamphil Palak.
Oh, God, that's just devastating. He was valued by the partisans precisely because of his savage hatred for the educated classes, the officers. He was useful.
But the fear breaks him. The constant terror that the whites, Witzen's corps, would capture his family and torture them. He hears this specific threat from a dying partisan.
And his mind just snaps. In this absolutely horrific, twisted logic, he kills his own wife and 3 children to spare them the imagined, maybe real, suffering.
It's the ultimate destruction of everything Zhivago values. Family, safety, basic human connection. Utterly destroyed by the conflict invading the home.
A total breakdown of moral order.
And shortly after witnessing things like this, Zhivago actually meets Strelnikov.
Yes, and Strelnikov immediately suspects him, thinks he's a white sympathizer hiding among the Reds.
The intensity must have been terrifying.
Completely. Strelnikov is pure ideology by this point. He basically tells Zhivago, the time for nuance, for sympathy, it's over.
This is a time for angels with flaming swords and winged beasts from the abyss, not for sympathizers and loyal doctors. Wow.
Exactly. It's choose a side, embrace the fire, or you're the enemy. No middle ground left.
That stark choice, that ideological purity test, it really sets the stage for what happens next when Yuri and Lara find each other again in Yuriatin, a sort of fragile haven.
For a moment, yeah. They try to piece together some kind of life. Lara's even reading Marxism textbooks, trying to navigate, maybe survive the new system.
Hedging her bets.
But she makes this chilling observation about Pasha, about Strelnikov, her own husband.
What does she say?
She tells Yuri his face, his living human face. It had become like an embodiment of a principle, the image of an idea.
Like he wasn't a person anymore, just a symbol.
Exactly. And she saw it as a sign, a seal of his doom. He hadn't just joined the cause had consumed him, replaced his humanity.
So their love, Yuri and Lara's, in that context,
Yeah.
it's more than just romance, it's defiance.
It's a refuge. It's trying to hold on to something human when everything else is gone. Lara says it perfectly, that famous line.
The whole human way of life has been destroyed and ruined. All that's left is the naked human soul stripped to the last shred.
Yeah. You and I are like Adam and Eve, the first 2 people on Earth, naked and homeless.
Wow. Starting over from nothing. No institutions, no safety nets, just each other. Their love is the new civilization, fragile as it is.
Born from the ruins. But even that doesn't last. The chaos finds them again. Komarovsky reappears.
Right out of nowhere. The ultimate survivor, or maybe opportunist?
And he brings terrible news. Strelnikov has been settled accounts with. Shot himself before they could execute him.
Meaning Lara is now incredibly vulnerable, linked to a disgraced enemy of the state.
Exactly. Komarovsky insists Yuri has to let him take Lara and Katya away. To the Far East, Vladivostok. It's their only chance.
And Yuri faces this impossible choice. His love, his inexhaustible joy versus her survival.
He agrees to the deception. He pretends he's coming too in the next sleigh.
But he just watches them go, lets the sleigh disappear into the snow, deliberately, agonizing.
Utterly agonizing, but what does he do immediately after? He turns to his work. He decides to write, to channel that grief, that loss into something lasting.
He wants to trace her memory. Like the sea traces the biggest wave on the sand after a huge storm.
Yes, the loss becomes the art. The work becomes the immortality he always believed in.
But the scars remain, the hidden costs. We see that years later at Yuri's funeral, Lara returns.
And she speaks to Evgraf, Yuri's half-brother. She needs help, desperately.
To trace a child she gave up to strangers during all that chaos.
It's just heartbreaking. That one detail sums up the permanent damage. Families shattered, children lost, not just to death like the Palex, but to the sheer impossibility of survival.
So when we dive into these sources, what we really see is how these huge historical forces, these ideologies, they don't just topple governments. They shatter lives, identities, families, morality itself.
And for Pasternak, the only way through, the only meaning left, is found outside those systems, in that quiet individual philosophy, in art, in just holding on to that naked soul.
It makes you think about Yuri's idea of history moving like the vegetable kingdom. Slow, hidden growth, then sudden, dramatic change.
Right. Dormancy under the snow, then bursting forth. Which leads to a fascinating question for you, listening now. Given the complexities, the hidden currents in our own world today, what unseen growth might be happening right now?
What quiet shifts, what tensions are building under the surface ready to transform everything? And maybe more importantly, what small acts of art, of humanity, of connection will turn out to be the most vital things when the next storm hits?